Formula E returns from its month-and-a-half break and we come here to Sao Paulo, Brazil. The Sao Paulo street circuit measures at 2.933 kilometres. First three turns here form the old part of the old IndyCar layout here, tap mode at the exit of turn 3. Turn 4, really hard opportunity for braking, great for regeneration of energy as well. And the last few corners here provided last year a three-way fight for a victory. It is already a classic circuit. So after Dennis and Cassidy took victory in Saudi Arabia, we're here in Sao Paulo before moving on to Tokyo at the end of March. April sees us in a double at Mazzano before Monte Carlo, and then it's into the double headers. May takes us to Berlin and Shanghai, June takes us to Portland, July takes us to London to round out season 10. In the driver standings, Nick Cassidy leads the way on 57 points, Pascal Wehrlein's on 38, Jean-Eric Vergne 33, Jake Dennis is on 28, Mitch Evans 21, Gunther is on 20, Frines on 19, 18 for Buemi, Rowland and Hughes, 14 for Van Dorn, 12 for Bird, Nato's on 9, Fenestra's 8-2 for Kamara, and nobody else has scored points. In the team standings, Jaguar lead the way on 78, Penske have 47, Taiko Porsche 38, 37 for Andretti and Envision, 30 for McLaren, 26 for Nissan, Maserati on 20, ERT have 2, Mahindra and App Cupra still pointless. Green light goes on and we are underway here at the Sao Paulo Sambadrome for free practice number 2 ahead of the 2024 Sao Paulo E-Prix. This place is awesome. Last year we had 3 abreast at the end of the race, really to give us an exciting end. This year we're anticipating once again pack racing. Yeah, pack racing, similar to what we saw at Portland. And we're going to be for a very fascinating day. Starts here with practice 2. Coming up later on in around about an hour, well, 2 hours time, our show begins. That'll be qualifying. And then at 4 o'clock GMT, the green light will go on and we'll be underway for the session as well. Clear conditions so far. Track temperature is at 30 degrees, as from Mitch Evans.
Crucially, Wolves qualifying. Don't want to muck it up for that.
Yeah, well, you know, as a driver, you go out there.
Copy, really straight. Can you crawl home safely, you think?
So, crawl home mode as well. It seems for Mitch Evans, the man who was fastest in practice 1 yesterday, already having a little bit of bad luck today. I'm delighted to say that. I haven't seen his message, but I didn't know that he was coming in, so I put Discord on. Alongside me in the commentary box is Adam Lemridge. Hello, Adam. Nice to have you here for this weekend. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Josh. It's early in the morning over here in the States, but happy to join you. And well, I will say this: think of Sao Paulo, Brazil, you think of coffee, and you think of the legendary F1 driver Ayrton Senna, who was one of the best drivers ever drove a Formula 1 race car. So the Formula E on the street of a legendary city like Sao Paulo.
Using, of course, the start. Evans is really in trouble here. Let's have a quick radio.
And he managed to go off and take the victory.
Front drive shaft or something, but something on the front end. Okay, copy. Can you tell what side might have the problem?
No, he doesn't know. Well, I'm looking at it. The front right looks a little bit off. I don't know if he's hit the wall coming, but that's straight out of the pit lane, so that's a weird one. But yeah, this, of course, the start line here. We used to go the opposite direction for when we raced here in IndyCar. And it's the same start-finish line. I really miss that Sao Paulo race. I'm glad that Formula E brought it back, but we always have drama here. We've never had it easy at this track, even back in the days of IndyCar when we used to have rain delays and Monday races. It really is excellent.
Yeah, I remember quite well. And Josh, I was reading online a couple of days ago that we could see some Apollo starts the 2024-25 schedule off, and there has been talks about perhaps a Formula E race in Los Angeles, California,
Oh,
in and around legendary, legend, legendary Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. So, what are your thoughts about potentially opening up next year's season here at Sao Paulo?
better than it'll be similar time to Mexico. So early in the year, nice weather always in Los Angeles, and I think that sounds quite nice. I'd want to go. I really would. I love LA. I've always wanted to visit it. I've always wanted to do a proper holiday in Los Angeles. So I'll tell you what, if that's on the cards, I'll definitely try and get to that one start next year because nothing else is on. But fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, it's like we know how legendary Los Angeles is since NASCAR started their clash at the Coliseum, for the past couple of years. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have a race, a Formula E race go inside legendary Dodger Stadium. I I am a huge Major League Baseball fan as well, so I think
It's a done deal.
Hey, anything can happen, Josh. You know this.
I do indeed, and I'd love that. I really would, actually. We had it in Tokyo when they went inside the stadium. Not Tokyo. I haven't got that yet. That's next year's plan for Tokyo. What's this year's? In Seoul, in South Korea.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
We went in there. Or is it Seoul? Seoul? Can't remember. It's one of the two, isn't it? But Ed Hunter probably correct me later when he gets into the comment box for qualifying in the race.
Yep.
Vern's still on top. We were supposed to be joined this weekend by a guest commentator. Unfortunately, their schedule hasn't aligned. So instead, I'm very glad that, Adam, you've been able to come up to the box for the whole race as well, because originally we were going to put you in the pit lane. But, so thank you for sticking around and not making change plans. But
yeah, always. Yeah. And Josh, I know we're talking Formula E here,
yeah, go on.
but Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, so hopefully you will wear your green, and it's also
Got green on now.
NASCAR. And NASCAR goes to legendary Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee. Your first time calling a race from there. So, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I'm wearing green. I've got a green jumper on today, and tomorrow I've got a green shirt ready to go for the NASCAR race, obviously. And in terms of the Bristol race, well, I've just had the graphics look at because we've got a special little feature coming for those graphics, and they look good. And we've got a new system that we're going to be debutising. We've called it Fan Cam. Basically, we've got a webcam at the circuit, and I think it's this one. I think Texas has got one and a couple of other races on the calendar where we'll be able to use the webcams and have it permanently alongside us. It's also going to be the case for when we get to Las Vegas for Formula One later on in the year, like we did last year. We'll have we're going to have a tower. So what we're going to do is we're going to shrink down the driver tracker and race control messages, and alongside that, we're going to have a whole row of security cameras down the side so that you can follow the race with us. So that's for Vegas, and then here for Bristol, we've got this. We've got the camera that's located over the track, so whatever you see, we'll see, and we've got it in full screen as well with all the graphics, so we can go for like the start and end of stages and restarts in full screen.
Nice.
I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, that's NASCAR. Just quick, Cassidy still going fastest, that Jaguar. Friends is second for the Envision squad, but with a Jaguar Type 6 powertrain, of course. New this weekend is the Manufacturer's Trophy.
Yes.
So this is going to be with Jaguar, obviously, Porsche, then we've got Maserati, Mahindra, all coming in, and we've got down to the pits though with
drive shaft issue. So yeah, not ideal, but yeah, so the team are on straight away, and hopefully we'll get Mitch back out and get some laps in for the session.
Not to overly dwell on reflecting on last season, but there was a bit of an issue when it came to free practice going into quality, and then the race obviously turned out very well. Not too worried at this point.
Maybe on a sample of 1 or 2, but on average, no, I think FP1s were pretty strong for us last year in FP2. But listen, these things happen. They're not ideal when they do. But we need to understand what's gone wrong here. The common FPK and common drive shaft. So, yeah, it's a part we need to understand where any issues have occurred since yesterday.
Well, hopefully everything gets resolved and Mitch can get out again. But let's look forward to qualifying. What's going to be the optimum strategy here? Because we're talking a lot about maybe not being in the best position to lead. Does that reflect in qualifying, or are you just still going for pole position on those points?
Yeah, I mean, qualifying's always ideal to qualify well. You have control of your destiny then. So, yeah, from my perspective, team perspectives, is you always want to qualify well, and you can then, yeah, make your decisions from there. If you're a long way back, it's not impossible, but you have an uphill battle. So it's always good to optimise qualifying and have more options to you.
Thanks, James.
Thanks.
James Barkley there as well, clearly showing that there is a little bit of an issue with his car on Mitch Evans, so hopefully they'll be able to get it fixed going forward. It is a front drive shaft problem. They've replaced they're replacing the entire spring section and suspension, so they've got 20 minutes to get that sorted. We're already 10 minutes into the session. Cassidy leads 1:13.849 for Muller, Freins, Verline, Jeruvela, Bird, Boemi, Verne, Van Dorn, Hughes, top 10. Gunther jumps up now. So Gunther with fast sector 1 and 2 goes fastest and puts it P1, 42 thousandths faster. So, yeah, Adam will be with us for... Well, were you with us in Mexico? You were, weren't you? Were you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
So Mexico, Sao Paulo, and then Portland's double later on in the year as well.
But,
but I don't know who's... I've put down who's in the commentary tomorrow because Josh T's not going to be back from his event until midway through the race. So I think it's me, you, Adam. I think Megan's going to be here for that race because she wants to take a look at it. But I don't know what Tom Dillon's up to, and I don't know where Jess is or Omi, although Omi needs to be convinced as well. But I think tomorrow might do it.
Yeah, especially since we know how crazy it can get at Bristol. As someone who's on the end of the south, it's only an hour and a half away from the
I can't wait for that race tomorrow. And it's nice that it's the only thing on tomorrow, so it gets our... Well, NASCAR's always getting our full attention at the moment, but we're not having to miss as many as I thought we would. We're coming up to, was it round 6 now, the series? Was it 5 or 6?
Yeah,
it's round
right.
6. Yeah.
And next weekend, NASCAR goes to Circuit of the Americas. And Josh, let's talk about some of the entrants that are going to be participating. You know about Shane Van Gisbergen, for college racing, and Malik Kobayashi will be making a second career start in a third 2311 racing car. So when you heard the news, what was your reaction?
First thing,
Okay, sorry.
Juvela's having a bit of trouble there with some regen on that Maserati. First thought was, it's my mate. One of the only 2 drivers I've ever hugged at Silverstone as well. Back on interview, but Kobayashi back in. He likes the series and he's a very competitive, fast driver. So I'm expecting him to slowly get back up into speed of things. SHT said Formula is finally back after weeks of breaks. I haven't got my glasses on. I've left them in the house, so I'm having to really lean into the laptop. Luckily, the screen's okay, but. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I wear glasses because I'm short-sighted. So the laptop's really tiny writing, I have to lean in. But I've got a 40-inch monitor directly in front of me, so I can see the track fine. But after a while, my eye starts to twitch. So that's why I wear them, so that I don't get an eye strain. NATO, fastest sectors 1 and 2. Just trying to see who went up the timing screen, but it was Norman NATO on a 1:13.173. Mortara is under investigation for an overpower in regen. Interesting situation there going on. As we take a look down there, Andretti. And on board now, this is Sam Bird in the first sector. Yeah, one thing though, Adam, that I sort of want to talk to you about, because we're in now for, apparently, I read this morning via the race.com that several of the No, I'm going to stop my sentence because we're going down to the pit lane.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I'm just down here at the garage. They're doing a bit of a tyre change, and I want to reflect upon their season so far, because there's definitely a better showing of one-lap pace that we've seen so far in free practice 1 and a little bit here in free practice 2. Obviously, it only counts when they're doing qualifying, but where they have been very good so far is in the races at making up positions. There are no teams or drivers that have made up more positions than Eden Mortara and Nick de Vries. So if they can get their qualifying right today, they put themselves in a very good position to master that strategy and maybe even push for a podium, and that would be astronomical for the team.
Mahindra's getting a podium would be massively beneficial. They've had a terrible start to the season out there as Dennis comes across the line, goes 5th for Andretti. Yeah, I was reading this morning, several of the drivers reporting on Media Day that they are concerned that because this race, last year it was 40 kilowatts of usable energy, this year it's 38.1, same race distance at 31 laps, they're saying that qualifying is practically going to be useless because nobody who starts on the first 3 rows of the grid are going to want to lead into the first corner, and nobody is going to want to lead this race until the energy targets are met. So basically what we've got our hands on is another Portland, but the drivers are expecting multiple stops and multiple red flags because this is a tight street circuit with barriers. So they've described it a peloton race. So would it work at this circuit compared to what we saw at Portland? Because Portland's, of course, it's a raceway. It's designed for racing. This is a street track.
Yeah. I will say, quite interesting once we get qualifying in the race like today, Josh. You mentioned nobody doesn't want to be in the first 3 rows. Well, if y'all remember what happened last year in Portland, we saw a lot of overtakes, and it was one of the craziest races we broadcasted all year. I don't think we'll have a lot of overtakes, but I will say, I know it's early, but I think it could be one of the craziest races in Formula E all year.
It's going to be a great one. I agree. I'm fully expecting to be sat here until about 7 o'clock tonight, which is 3 hours after the race. But remember, this Formula E race, it's a 1-hour event that has to be completed within 3 hours. So if we go over that, the race is cancelled because the battery, the charge of the battery starts to degrade and you can't recharge them during the race, because even when they're idle under red flag, they're still ticking down a little bit of battery percent, like when they're on, like your phone. If you don't charge it up every now and then, the battery will still degrade. Da Costa's got a fastest second sector, 28.199. It was a 23.154 first sector, but he has lifted ever so slightly, but now gets a full power at the last corner. This is a very, very close time to Verlines. It's 2,000s off the base. Wow. Porsche put their mark on the weekend.
Hey Josh, I'm getting back to the manufacturer's trophy. Are you surprised that Formula E hasn't already done one already before this?
Sorry, I didn't hear that last bit. Say again.
Ed, are you surprised that there has not been a manufacturer's trophy in Formula E before this year?
Yeah, I am actually, because we've had the Teams Championship and the drivers since the beginning, but I'm surprised Formula 1 doesn't have one, to be fair, either, because a manufacturer's title means a little bit more, and it gives back to the power unit suppliers, the battery suppliers and all that. It makes more sense, and I've always said we should have one. We have one in touring cars. We should have one in Formula 1 as well, because we've got Honda, you've got Ferrari, you've got Renault, and you've got Mercedes coming in there. As we see a lock-up into turn 1, I believe, for Robin Freins, just getting a little wiggle on under the brakes, and remembers to stop behind the bollard and make sure it's safe to rejoin. That's one of the race director's instructions. Not Scott Elkin this weekend, by the way. He's not the race director this weekend. So, it's going to be a little bit worrying when we get into the race.
And hope hopefully our good friend Tom Brooks is feeling
Sounds it.
better since he missed the action yesterday, and hopefully he's doing well over there in Brazil.
He sounds okay, because sounding okay is not good as feeling okay. So I echo your sentiments there, Adam. And I can't wait to hear what he uses at the race. I might actually send him a text message in between this break and ask him, so have you decided what you're going to do when the lights go out? Is it blast off in Brazil? Because that's what I've got coming up to use at this iteration. He's welcome to it.
I mean, it was really cool to talk to Tom Brooks last week on Formula E Zone with Jack and let everybody know Jack will have complete recap of the race from Sao Paulo coming up Monday afternoon. Go subscribe to Formula E Zone on YouTube.
And I believe as well that they're not, I don't think they're trackside this weekend, but when we head back to Europe, the team will be trackside as well. Jack German will be in London, and Jack Pico will be at several of the races this year as well as our on-site reporter, and down at Formula E Zone as well. They've just revamped their website too. I was going to write a little, I haven't had time actually to write a little blog piece. I wanted to send it in about thoughts from the commentary box as well. And I just thought, I've got to get on with that and send it in, and first 4 races or something.
And Josh, I told Jack that I will be making appearance, to recap the action around Sao Paulo on Monday. So looking forward to being on the show with those two guys.
I know that Giordano got me and Josh T confused because he started talking to Josh T about cooking. I'm the one who does the cooking. I'm the cooker. Chef. There you go. I'm not a cooker. I don't turn on with gas. But no, I'm the chef, and he got me and him confused. I mean, I didn't even have time to give Tom my recipe for hamburger soup. Yellow flag, turn 6. Marshall point 6, so he's down there. It's the 48 Eduardo Mortara, exit of turn 3, has come to a stop. As I thought Vern might have hit the wall. It looked like he was crabbing a little bit on the rear left. As I think Mortara's come to a stop. This is Dennis's radio, but the yellows are out.
I feel like I locked the outside front at 1. But if I don't do that, then it's
double
really
yellow now. So Dennis is struggling with the rear. Double yellow, and Mortara has stopped at turn 3. So is this going to be a race? He's not moved for a long time now. He was on a full power lap as well. There he is, just ground to a halt. This will be a red flag. I'm surprised it hasn't been a red flag, to be fair, from the stewards. It's just flashing yellow at the moment on our monitors. They'll try and get a restart. It's very difficult there. There's no exit points. Let's see how he did it. So this is through turn 1, 2, and 3. So this is into 1. Oh, he's locked up at the rear, and a big red message saying stop. So he stopped, and then he's kept going. That's bizarre. Yeah, it's a stop to say stop the car. Bird goes fastest, but that time will be deleted because the yellow was out.
Yeah.
Right, so where's the red flag then? It's quite clear.
That's big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since we're here, the audience we're here in Sao Paulo, Nick Cassidy's got a strong lead in the drivers' championship. And like Jaguar could run away here with the team. So Nick Cassidy take the win later today in Sao Paulo.
If we're seeing problems for Evans, Cassidy and that other Jaguar is going to be very much up there, I reckon. And there were 1-2 yesterday. Evans top, Cassidy second. Yeah, I think he's got a shot of a podium, maybe even a race win. Do a double. Let's hear from Bird quick.
Isn't it? He's obviously done some homework with the team.
The brake biases are way off. Yeah, we understand that, Ringnes. But as long as we're race braking, there is no concern.
So Bird's had a bit of problem with qualifying brake bias, but for a race it'll be fine. He's coming into the pit lane. That yellow flag, are they just going to leave Mortara there? They have not red flagged the session. It's a new race director this weekend. Scott Elkins, I believe, is busy. It wasn't him yesterday when they tested the full course yellow system. But this is really strange. We've got, I'll find out who the race director is actually, because we've got that ability via the timing results.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Red flag.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Yeah, they've stopped it now. Red flag's out. They
There
had
we-
to. What took so long? That's worrying. That was 3 minutes, I believe. That red flag was out for. We need to get that. Hang on, let's take a look. I've got the race control messages here. Double yellow came out. 10:39. So that took 6 minutes, Adam.
Yeah.
Right, Saunders in the pits, I believe, with Ian James.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so as it stands, Sam Bird doing pretty well with that one-lap pace. He feels like he's completely turned a corner since joining McLaren.
He seems to be in a really good place at the moment, which is fantastic. I think he's added so much to the team, and hopefully he feels comfortable here as well. And I think we're seeing some of the results come to fruition, which is great.
How's his mentality coming into this race? Because if we just go back to the last one when we were here last season, he got a podium. He always said at the time that it could have even been a win from P10. That feels like we might see a similar thing today with what's possible from that sort of position.
I think we're realistic about what to expect. Listen, he's in a new car, totally different package, of course, and we're on a journey where we're just taking step by step, hopefully the right steps forward and building on what we've got. I think for Sam, of course, he's coming in here excited. It's been a long break since Diriyah, so both drivers are just very happy to get racing again. But there's been a lot of talk about how different this race profile is going to be compared with what we've seen in the first 3 races. So it's going to be exciting to see how that plans out.
What can you tell us about that? You know, what sort of racing are we expecting to see later on today?
I think we're going to see an energy limited race, which is very different to what we saw in Mexico and Diriyah. It's less energy, less usable energy than what we had last year as well. So that's going to play a role into it. So that so-called peloton style of racing is going to be there. It's going to be fascinating to see how that all pans out for us as well, because I think we've got a good feel for how we got on in those first races. This is going to be the first opportunity to see how the package works in this scenario.
There is, of course, going to be that point in the race where it turns from saving to pushing. Where do you expect that kind of to be within teams? You know, what's the thinking there?
Yeah, interesting. I mean, very much depending on how the leaders plan out the race, but I'd anticipate probably somewhere between half the way through, maybe 3/5 of the way through, we're going to really see it get going. But I think that these drivers now understand this style of racing. They understand the Gen 3 package as well, and we're going to see a different outcome, I think, to what we would have expected last year as well. But it's going to be exciting.
It will indeed. Thanks, Chase.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Thank you to Saunders as well. You can see here the Jaguar team look like they've managed to right whatever's wrong, and they're hopefully, if the red flag does cease to exist before the end of this session, going to try and get out for at least a couple of installation laps.
Right, I found the steward's document that gives us the list of who are the race directors here this weekend, so I'm just trying to have a look. It doesn't say anything about Scott Elkin as race director. It does not say anything. It just gives us pit lane information. Safety car driver this weekend is Ricardo Landi. Alongside Bruno Carrera, so that's normal. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything as to what is going to be the entry list. That's an interesting one. But there's Edo walking back in. And where's he gone down? 17th fastest. They've had to crane the car away, so they've brought a JCB on. 2:26 to go. Session will restart under short call. So basically, as soon as the track's clear, we're going to go green. No start time. So it'll be like, go now. Just run. Yeah. Marshall's running down the pit lane with whistles. Save yourselves, run! Green flags flying everywhere. This shouldn't take too long. It's a 1 minute 12 laps, so we're not going to see any bonanza laps, but they want to get standing starts in. That's the important factor. And they have the option to extend the session to 10 more minutes if they want. So we might have a 10-minute gap, well, 5 minutes at least, for how long we were under red flag, so they get 1 lap in. Come on, let's go. Everyone's ready to go. The drivers are ready to go. Team's ready. They want to get this one sorted. Look, we can see Evans needs to get some time out there. He's 20 seconds, so top from yesterday, bottom today, and now he needs to get going. Where's this green flag? The car's safe now, track safe.
Let's go. Let's go.
There's Fenestraz, Druvela, Van Dorn and Berg in the full screen. So 1 minute 10 to go. Oh, and I've lost picture. Don't know about you, Adam. Green flag, we're racing. Oh, and it's going back to us.
Thank you.
So the pictures are... Oh, there we go. Let's come back now. That was a bit weird. Green flag, we're underway with less than a minute to go. Here for the weekend's second practice session, and they come out in the joint pit lane, 2 by 2 in 2 lanes. At least we know if we need to, we can start the race at the pit lane. That's something.
Yeah.
They're not going to get a flyer in. They're not. It's a 1 minute 12 lap. So this will be a practice start simulation only, I'm afraid, for everybody. They'll take the flag and then they'll do a start. Not the greatest of race director calls there. That should have been a red flag from the minute the car stopped. It took 6 minutes to get it going. Oh, it annoys me when they do things like that. 'Cause it's like, how weird.
Same here, John. Same here.
So we ramble on. Checker flag is now out. The session is over. So 3, 2, 1, there we go. Go on, Adam.
I thought they would have at least another 5 minutes added on, to give some extra time, but no.
Where is Scott Elkin? I don't know how, although 90 minutes before the start of qualifying, maybe they want to give them as much time as possible to build things.
Yeah.
Are they going to take the flag, or are they just going to line up and do the practice starts? I don't think anybody knows what's going on here. I suppose you can attack the first corner, can't you, and at least have half a lap time, because you can't take the checker flag twice.
No, ask anything about that.
And they repaired the suspension on Evans' car. Did it nicely, well done.
And hey, Josh, Brady's been sure and disqualified from race 2, where F1 happening. I think that was...
It wasn't her fault, it was the FIA and the teams. She was asking on the radio how many laps to go, and the checker flag then vanished at the end of the next lap. The stewards did not handle that one well.
No.
Glitching ever so slightly, I can hear on the radio. Right, they've taken the start. The race stats turn 1 later is going to be interesting. Yellow flags are now... Yellow flags are now out at 13, 14, 15 and 16 to warn everybody that we're going to do practice starts. So that's what's happening now.
Okay.
There's the back. Of course, they host a carnival here, of course, on this start straight. He joined us at the start of the session and saw the background manoeuvres. As we'll take it. Yep, so some drivers not even bothering with that. Into the pit lane. Comes a few of them. As we're on board with Evans, he was 22nd, needs this practice start. Lost to the entire 30 minutes. Only did... I mean, Evans was last overall, 1:14.3, but did not do a full power lap, so goes into qualifying a bit blind. On board with Cassidy, launch arms. Ready, and away. Drop that clutch, and then it's like an automated procedure. That light sequence came on quick. Yeah, there's the 5 lights, and then they go out. Nobody went. Okay, that's weird. 3, 4, 5, pause. Go. Good launch from Evans. What's going on with that Porsche? Not leaving the grid. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Now it goes.
There we go.
Gunther's under investigation for pit lane infraction.
Ooh.
Don't like these new Formula E lights. So it's too blocky because they're all thinking together. The lights are too close.
Yeah.
They go out so quick as well. 5. Go. It's also a good time for the TV directors to test how they want to have the opening few laps as well.
That's true.
Gives us an idea as well how the broadcast is going to go.
Yeah.
I just wish they'd centre the lights. It really annoys me.
Oh, yeah.
You can hear the trackside audio from Billy Munger in the background of my ears.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 again. Pause and go. They're all practicing on the racing line down to turn 1. That's interesting. No one chose the left, everyone was on the right. End of the session. Here's your results. It's Sam Bird who tops for Neo McLaren on 1:12.773. Stoffel Van Dorn second with Ollie Rowland third and Jake Dennis fourth. Pascal Verlaine goes in fifth. Antonio Felix da Costa sixth. Nick de Vries seventh. Sergio Seta Camara is in eighth. Norman Nato ninth. And Johan de Ruvela puts it in 10th position as well in the top 10. Just 4.5 tenths of a second separating them. Sasha Fenestras is in 11th, followed Nick Cassidy 12th. Robin Friends 13th. Sebastian Buemi 14th. Max Gunther is 15th. Nico Muller 16th. Countryman alongside him with Eduardo Mortara 17th. Lucas de Grassi on home soil and home city in 18th. Jake Hughes 19th. Jean-Luc Vergne 20th. Dan Ticktum's 21st. And Mitch Evans rounds out in 22nd, not having a full power lap after having suspension damage. So, what do you think coming into qualifying later on when we get going?
Well, Josh, I think quite interesting. I think Jaguar is going to be one team that is going to be hard to beat qualifying. I think we could see. I think it'll be quite chaotic, and I don't know what to expect, especially after what happened here with FP2. It was unusual, I'll say that much.
It was indeed. Thanks for your company, Adam. Thanks to all of you at home as well. We'll be back in 90 minutes' time for all the action from qualifying here at the Sambadrome at the Sao Paulo Street Circuit for the 4th round of the 2024 Formula E season. Thanks for your company, Adam. Thanks to you at home. We'll see you later on. As we just take a quick look at Roland, who was third fast in that session. Has he done something wrong by hitting a wall? No, he looks to be okay to me. And Van Dorn was second and Bird fastest here, so it's just a run through who was the top 3 on the order. So, Sam Bird, for the first time this year, tops a session, and Neo McLaren looking a little bit more competitive. But what can the Jaguars do? They're going to be right up there come qualifying, but we're expecting a peloton-style race where nobody wants to lead and everyone's going to be very much follow the leader into the last stages. A very exciting day of motorsport is ahead. We'll see you later on for qualifying. Thanks for your company. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.